Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode. Today I have someone super exciting and special with me. I have the absolute star of Million Dollar Listing UAE and the CEO and co-founder of Brown Ferguson. Welcome, Zay Brown.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I am so excited you're here.
We were literally talking about this.
Yeah.
Like this episode.
Exactly.
Like literally a few months ago. And now it's happening.
I know. I can't believe it. I'm so excited. Oh, I love this. Right, let's get straight into it.
Mm-hmm.
So can you just tell me a little bit about what inspired you to get into real estate, and what were your biggest challenges as a broker? Because obviously you started off very young. I think you were in your early 20s.
Yes.
So what inspired you and what were your challenges?
So I actually came across real estate a little bit by accident. Mm-hmm. My path was meant to be down the law side of things. So I did my politics degree and international relations. And then I was doing my second degree in law. And I just realized that I didn't want to be locked up in a boring office in the middle of London for the rest of my life. I just felt like I had lots more energy and passion and like charisma. And I was like, I need to be out there. So I literally just applied for lots of jobs. And the only thing that mattered is it had to be overseas. And then this was the one that I came across, which was uncapped. And for most people, being commission only is a scary thing.
Yeah.
But for me, it was like I was drawn in by that because I know that I give a lot. Like I always over deliver. I always, even in school growing up, I would always go above and beyond. So I wanted a job that would reward that mentality. So for me, it was like, this is an exciting thing. It's like the sky's the limit. You know, I can build whatever I want to build. I'm in control of my own salary, you know? So then I applied for this job and within 2 weeks I flew out. So I guess it wasn't something that I could say like, I wanted to do this since I was a young child. No, I just wanted to do something where I could really like push the limits.
Yeah.
But in the, you know, it's outside the comfort zone. It's tough, it's challenging. I've never done it before at the time. And now everyone's moving to real estate. So it's now like the most saturated market. But in terms of challenges, you know, I moved out here and I was around 22 years old.
Yeah.
And I was just just finished uni, super broke, didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
And if I'm honest, I think a lot of people can agree as well in real estate. Like when I got the job, I felt a little bit like, wow, like I managed to land this. Mm-hmm. What a great like stepping stone, a milestone. Like what an achievement. I've landed a job in Dubai. And then I got here and then I was like, wait, everyone gets the job? Wait, what? Like, wait, anyone gets the job? Like it wasn't even like she's got a degree, she's worked 6 jobs, and she's only 22 and she's already been in like so many different industries and she's got experience. No. It was because it's commission only. The hiring is by the masses. So that was a little deflating. But to be honest, you know, it's tough for anyone. And this is really applicable to any industry. When you're moving abroad away from your family and you don't know people, it's challenging as it is, you know, struggling with being homesick, adjusting to a new lifestyle, trying to make friends that were coming and going because it's a transiting city. So many challenges, but and COVID.
Oh yeah.
COVID.
Oh my God.
So I came before COVID, and then a lot of people stuck during COVID, and then post-COVID a lot of people came to Dubai because they were fed up of life back home. And that was really what I saw, like a boom of the post-COVID brokers, and they've just never seen a bad market before, so they're just like thinking this is great, and I'm like, I've seen it before this.
Just give it some time.
So there's been challenges. It's not been easy, and I'm probably one of the few people that really like emphasize how hard it has been, because especially on podcasts people just talk about like the successful side of things and the fast cars and the biggest commission checks. But it's like, if you like put yourselves in my shoes, I was crying literally almost every single day for my first 6 months. It was tough.
It is. Yeah. And I think especially because you're all alone, you're just completely alone. You have no idea what's going to happen next, because that's real estate, right? You never know what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
And then you have deals that fall through. I feel like real estate really affects your mental health.
Massively.
Right? And people don't talk about that, the mental health that comes with it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's the constant pressure because you have no idea what you're going to make that month. You can work your socks off. You can be so consistent and you can just be unlucky and all your deals can just fall apart in that month. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles, unfortunately. And that's what people don't realize is that this isn't just a job. It's like your whole livelihood rests on this. Your rent doesn't pause just because you didn't close a deal that month. Your bills are still coming out. And so it is that uncertainty. I've seen brokers that have gone blank for 4, 5 months, 6 months, and they're literally at breaking point where they're like, I don't know if I can afford a plane ticket home. I've been in that situation as a rental broker when I was like, the money I'm making is going straight onto the bills. I'm making zero money, really, like my net money. And the deals back then and the deals today are very different. The prices were very different.
Yeah.
Like if someone did a 100K deal back then, that was a big deal.
Big deal, yeah.
That was like the whole office stood up and applauded.
Yeah.
Now, if you do a 100K commission deal today, it's like, okay,
good
that's
for
your
you.
weekly target. Next. Do you know what I mean? It's a different place, different time.
It's a different time as well. But wow, that's insane. Moving out here on 22 is crazy.
Yeah.
That's wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've built an incredible personal brand. I mean, I'm a head of marketer. So when I train people on head of marketing, Zay's profile is one of the first profiles I pull up as like inspiration. And it's I mean, amazing. I'm obsessed with your personal brand personally. So what do you think are the key elements that you think make a personal brand as strong as yours?
So firstly, thank you because that's really sweet. And, you know, it's not like I have lots and lots of followers, but you know, it's hard work.
Yeah.
And
they're all authentic. That's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that I've never tried to be something that I'm not. I've never tried to, you know, do all like the Ryan Serhant, you know, and all that stuff. I'm like, I'm going to be me. I'm not trying to replicate somebody else because there's no point. I can't be someone else. I can only be myself. So I wanted to create something which was definitely me. And what other people I noticed were just posting, they created a real estate account and it was just pictures of the properties.
Yeah.
And it's like you have your personal account and then you have your real estate account. And in my head, I was like, why would you not just have one account?
Yeah.
Because firstly, let's be honest, it's hard to run two accounts. I'm honestly speaking, where you're active on both accounts, you're posting on both accounts, it's almost impossible to do that alongside a full-time job.
I agree.
So that was the first thing. And the second thing is that no one on your real estate page is following you other than brokers because they're only seeing your listings.
Yeah.
So I was like,
there's no personality.
No. And it's like, what is the point? I can just go onto Property Finder and have the same experience as me going onto your work Instagram account. Why am I here? So I wanted to build something where it was like, I'm not just going to showcase an amazing video tour. I'm also going to showcase where I went for lunch or I'm going to Formula One or the Dubai lifestyle. And I wanted to show people not just the glamorous side, but the humble side of things too. Like it's not all about going out on a yacht every single weekend. That rarely happens. I think I go on a yacht like maybe twice a year, you know, but it's like the wake surfing before work, you know, that's like what I do, paddle boarding, and like people go on running like clubs and all that stuff. There's so much to that has happened here, that keeps happening. There's so many like humble activities that aren't about the bling side of Dubai that I think people needed to realize. And I think what I sort of set out to do is build something that is a little bit of everything about me. Like I'm not here to just show you my real estate side. I'm here to show you my personality. You know, I'm always trying to get engagement with people. I want to have like polls. I want to see what people's feedback is. And I think that people have just followed me because I'm sharing the ups and the downs. And I think a lot of people love to use social media as just showcasing sold this, 15 million sold. And it's like, people don't just want to see that.
I genuinely believe people don't care.
Yes.
I really genuinely believe people do not care. And I think
Agreed.
when I look at personal branding, I always say if people cannot connect with you, like on a personal level, they won't buy from you, right? People buy people before they buy properties. Yeah. So if you're not golfing, if you're not paddleboarding, if you're not swimming or anything other than selling houses, why would someone connect with you? They need to see. And also, I genuinely believe that it's important to showcase the bad side of real estate, because if I'm giving you a property to sell, I should know that like realistically, there's going to be hard problems. There's going to be shitty buyers. There's going to be people who are going to, you know, harass you, whatever. I need to know that you've been through that and that you can handle it. And that's the only way I'm going to give you my property. If you keep doing deals after deals and only success stories, you're kind of a little fake and I won't trust you. So you need to show that reality so people can like trust you more, I think.
I agree.
And I think you do that really well, especially in your videos. You describe things very specifically. You talk about the market, you talk about the space. And the one thing I always tell people is that you put yourself in everything that you do.
Yes.
Whether it's a property, whether it's an informative post, whether it's a personal post, you have to make sure that you are the star of it so that people remember you.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
It's interesting because like when I started like doing these selfie videos, and I'll try and find one from when I was 22, it was like not many people were doing it. And I'm not saying like, oh, I was one of the best. I'm saying just not many people were doing it. And I think they kind of were a bit too scared to put themselves, it's out of the comfort zone, and it's like, oh, I'm not really someone who's a fan of being in front of the camera. And I'm like, hold up, you signed up to be a realtor. You're meeting a stranger every single day in your job, and you're telling me you're too shy to put yourself in front of a camera to showcase a property, but you want to be a realtor? Come on, this is your career. This isn't like, I like this side of real estate, but I don't want to be in front. No, it doesn't work like that. If you really want to propel yourself, you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to like exceed and be at the high performing club, you need to tap into all angles and areas. And I say that even if you're working so hard on social media and only one lead happens in 1 year, that's one lead more than you would have had if you weren't on social media. So it pays off. And this is definitely the long run. It's not like I'm going to get my Instagram running today and have a buyer tomorrow. I'm not joking. Like the other day, I had a client message me and saying, I've been following you for 3 years. I'm ready to buy off plan now. And the same thing happened to Dylan. And it was again, he's like, I've been following you for so long. I've been watching what you're doing and I was a bit hesitant, but I'm ready to buy something now. Can we meet for a coffee? And they're signing contracts. So it's like, you really got to think about it as this is for you and your business, and you grow it as you see fit, but be consistent, make yourself the star of the show, step out of the comfort zone. When I came to White & Co., barely anyone were doing actual video tours with themselves in it.
Yeah.
I remember one of the first ones I did was the Al Barari Villa.
Yes, and I love that one. 5 minutes long, guys. She made us work for like 4 hours.
It was a full day. It was poor Shami. It was the first time I met him, and he probably left thinking, oh my God, not the new girl. She's calling me up again.
No, but it was one of the best videos we've done, hands down.
Honestly, I appreciate it. But that's the thing. I got there and it was just that everyone's doing the classic generic videos with just a song playing in the background, and it's just this transition of the shots. There's no voiceover, and I say, listen, you don't have to jump right in the deep end. If you want to do a different sort of style where you do voiceovers, you do a faceless Instagram, just start somewhere, do something, right? And when I attended a conference with Gary Vee, he really said it in the best way, which was the only reason people don't jump on social media and don't harness personal branding is because they're too afraid of what other people think. Yeah. And that's really 100%. The crux of it is people just care too much about other people's opinions. I know people that are like hesitant because what if I look stupid, or I only have 800 followers, or what if this comes across, what if that person shares it, who cares?
Who cares?
No one else is paying your bills but you.
I agree.
So why do you care? Like, put yourself out there. You're only going to get better. You think when I started, I was great in front of the camera. I did like 20,000 takes. So did Dylan. You know, we've all been there. But now we're at the point where it's like second nature, and you're only going to get better if you keep at it, you know?
Exactly. I completely agree.
Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I know.
And I think whether people are talking good about you or they're talking bad about you, they're still talking about you.
That's
know what I mean?
A big lesson I've learned.
And in real estate, that helps. Believe it or not, it helps.
You know, I always used to be like, I never cared what people think about me. But recently, in the last, I'd say 2-3 years, I realized there's a lot of people talking. Some people I didn't even know existed. And it's like, that's, whether it's good or bad, they're talking.
They're talking.
So,
right.
You know, let them talk.
Exactly. So how did you build such an impressive database? And what was your approach to nurturing those relationships? Because I don't maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think you do digital ads or any lead generation campaigns for your company, right?
No. So our approach is very different, and it's really about like your phone book is probably the most important asset. I always say your network is your net worth. So it is all about who you know more than what you know, if I'm being honest. Obviously in real estate, it's important that you have you have both, but it's really about connections, and I think it's putting yourself in the right places to meet the right people, and it's also about being presentable. So most of our business, I would say 90% of Brown and Ferguson's business is generated from repeat business and referral business. So all of our clients, you know, we really focus on making them feel like a VIP client, because if you do such a good service, you go above and beyond, you take them out for a nice meal, you gift them with a lovely gift when you've transferred, you know, all of these thoughtful things that brokers just fail to do. They miss out. They earn a great commission check, but then they don't put out 2% of that or 5% of that check into a nice gift or a nice like excursion or a nice hotel staycation for their clients. See, things like that, clients really do value. And I think that's what makes you different and sets you apart from the average broker. So really it's about repeat business. And for Dylan and I, we always are on the message and the, you know, the sort of ethos of quality over quantity. So it's not about generating thousands of leads. It's how can we service each lead in the best capacity, in the best way possible. And then referral business will come. For us, it's not about the short-term mindset of I need to make as much money today as possible. It's I want to build as many great connections that are long-lasting. This is about longevity. And that's what we're about. So it's not about, we don't do any cold calling. I know majority of companies, whether the broker likes it or not, it's their method, especially with new brokers. You know, they're tasked to cold call, go through the CRM, 100 calls a day, KPIs, figures, stats, numbers, KPIs. And it's like, at what point do you lose credibility when you're just sitting there on the phone, hanging up, and you have no idea what you're talking about because you're brand new to the industry, right? So I just wanted to not be associated with that sort of business model anymore. It was time for me to step back and sort of say, okay, it's taken me almost 6 years to build this phone book that I have. And this is the most important thing to me, are my client relationships. I'm not going to have that now damaged because they're getting hounded by other people calling them because then data is on the CRM now, you know? So, I think really to build the network, it's definitely a longevity thing. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, but don't take shortcuts. Make sure you do a really good service, even if you're in rentals, even if it means going above and beyond for the landlord or for the tenant, because your tenant converts to buyers one day and your landlord converts to sellers one day. Exactly. So it's so important. Whatever you do it with grace and do it with integrity, and it will pay off in the future at some point.
So how do you find your phone book? How do you build your phone book? Do you go to events, especially the international ones?
Yeah, this is a good question because, you know, we've done international road shows and I've got clients that fly in just to, like literally just to meet me and do a full excursion with me, have an insight, you know, with me, and we do presentations and everything. And that really comes from, again, if I look at the people I'm working with today and I work out how I met them, it's that person to that person to that person. And it all starts with 4 or 5 people who will introduce you. And I really want to say, put yourself out there. I go to a lot of networking events. I don't know the first thing about crypto, but I'll be at a crypto event because I like meeting people, you know, and I'm ready to learn. I won't turn up to a crypto event being like, does anyone want to buy real estate? That's not what I'm saying. I'm there to learn about crypto, but by learning there, I'm now in a room which is different to the room I would have been if I'd gone to a fashion event or if I'd gone to a boating event. Like I'll go to the boat show. I want to meet people. And I think that it's just important being an outgoing person. And that's not to say like, oh, you know, she's an extrovert and so that works and I'm an introvert. It's not about that. You're in the business of people. You're in a people business. Exactly. So if you don't like the idea of striking up a conversation or meeting someone, you know, at a private members club or going out and just making yourself known or aware and having conversation, then I feel like you're in the wrong job, unfortunately. 100%. So you just it's all about people.
Yeah.
Really, really is.
And do you have to be selective with the type of events you go to? Because obviously, like a beach club event might not have the buyers as opposed to a crypto event, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if you think you're going to get a client from surf clubs, like,
Exactly.
good luck. I personally have not seen that translate. But, you know, it doesn't have to be anything too glamorous, especially for those starting in that industry, right? I understand you can't necessarily afford a private members club membership, you know, when you first get here. That's understandable. But it's positioning yourselves to meet the right people, but also, like, wherever you go, it doesn't matter who you, like, my first year in real estate, the salon I would go to every single week, I was talking to everyone. I'm talking about the receptionist, I'm talking about the guy that cuts my hair. And then he said, oh, the owner of our salon, he's got an apartment that he's looking to sell. And then the owner of that salon was sat in the lobby. I met him. He had an apartment in downtown and I sold it for him in 2 weeks. So that's what I'm saying. It doesn't need to be anywhere glamorous. That was literally in my hair salon in JBR at the time. And the owner of that salon, I sold his property 2 weeks later. And then the buyer who bought that has bought something from me off plan this year. This was 6 years ago.
Wow.
So that's just a bit of an idea of, it doesn't matter about where, say you're a community expert and you're a villa community expert, you should make yourself known. You should be only sitting in that clubhouse and really getting to know the community, the residents. It's really about thinking sort of outside the box. If I were a community expert and I was limited to one area, I'd probably live in that area.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's you have to. Even if it's JGE, like, live in one of the apartments in JGE, you know, really make that the mission to really live and breathe what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
For
Agreed.
sure.
What inspired you to start your own company, and what does Brown Ferguson have that other companies don't?
Interesting. There's a number of reasons why I started it. I mean, it was always the end goal. I made that clear with every brokerage I started at, that one day I want to have my own firm.
Yeah, I remember.
That was the first thing I said, you know, when I joined my last company where I met you. And it was always the end goal for me. And so that wasn't a surprise. I started it really out of identifying a gap in the market. I think the majority of real estate companies have the same business model, which is hire by the masses, and then the masses will leave in bulk because it's commission only. So the overhead cost isn't very much. So as a business owner, it's like, well, why don't we just put as many bums on seats as possible and then just see what sticks? And I just didn't want to be in an environment like that anymore. I wanted to be an environment where it was quality over quantity. And it just got to the point where I feel like I wanted to be part of a boutique firm. I wanted to be in a company where everybody is experienced, where it's not 50 new faces every month and trying to learn everyone's names and then they're not there the next week. So that's part of the reasons from a cultural point of view, but also mindset and positivity. I want to be around winners. I want to be around hungry people. Negativity really does impact and weigh on you. So that's another thing. I think we wanted to build something which I touched on before a little bit, but it was about really putting the relationship back in as the main picture, you know. We wanted the relationship to be at the forefront. We wanted longevity relationship at the forefront. And I think a lot of companies are so fixated on the commission. And for me, it's really important to hone in that the commission is the byproduct. And that's how you should treat this. If you're here just for the commission, again, you're here for the wrong reasons. Your integrity won't be there. As you know, you should be here to service. At the end of the day, realtors need to remember you are in a service field. You are here to service the buyer and service the seller. So your job is really to add value first and foremost. The commission should be a byproduct. For me, I wanted to make sure every single client of mine understands that I'm here to add value. If you don't buy from me in 3, 4, 5, 6 years, that's fine if you haven't bought. As long as you know that, okay, Zay Brown is the only agent that I will go to when it comes to the Middle East. She's the only one.
And that's how you build exclusivity.
That's how you build exclusivity. It's not the pressure of buy this, buy this, buy this. You speak to any agent, 90% of agents will tell you buy this, buy this. And you say, what about this? Oh yeah, buy that, buy that. They won't ever say, you know what? Don't buy this. This is actually not a good investment. Actually, there's a better opportunity over here. If you're looking for ROI, this is a better alternative. Actually, agents are so short-sighted these days where they just care about closing deals. And if I'm honest, do I blame brokers for being like that when they're trained to be like that? Not so much. I really blame the system that encourages, and all they focus on is commission. And you go to any real estate company, it's all on the boards. Everywhere you sit in the desk, all you're seeing is the commissions for that month, you know, all around you. So there's so much pressure and the money's at the forefront. Whereas I wanted to be part of something, build something where the money was actually the secondary part.
Yeah. And I also think brokers do it because they need to survive that sense.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So they're just like, we don't care. We just want the money.
We just want the money.
So we can pay our bills. But at the same time, like you said, you have to think of it long term. Otherwise, it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So how has Million Dollar Listing UAE impacted your career and personal life? Or has it at all?
So how has Million Dollar Listing impacted my life? Really good question. So it's definitely been a positive thing. And the only reason I went on the show was because I wanted to, you know, grow my business and my personal brand. I didn't care about followers, fame, or any of that. I didn't care about TV. All I wanted was to put myself on a unique platform, one that not many brokers can say they have been on, and just to add credibility to myself as a realtor. So it's already paid off because I've already closed deals from the back of it. I've got listings from the back of it, even in areas that I wasn't heavily invested or, you know, a huge expert in. People messaging me on Instagram saying, hey, I've got a villa in Al Barari. I've seen you on the TV show. You came across really well, very professional, would love to meet you and show you around. So it's really, really paid off. And even in terms of like international clients, it adds credibility for sure, because they're like, oh, you've got your own TV show. It's like, yeah, I'm not just one of these realtors that have come here for 6 months and trying to sell you something. I've been here 6 years. And it does add that level of credibility as well. So that helps. In terms of, it's weird sometimes because I forget I've done it, because it has been since we filmed. It's been like 2.5 years since we actually filmed. So I forget about it sometimes, and I'll just be in like Dubai Mall and someone will come up to me and be like, Are you Zay?
Yeah.
Are you Zay Brown? And I'm like, I am. How do you know me? And I'm like, oh yeah, my TV show. Yeah. Okay. So that happens. Not often. I'm being genuine, like it happens rarely, but it happens and it's funny. And interestingly, I was in Hong Kong. This is a true story.
Okay.
I was in Hong Kong, and this was this year in May, and we went to one of those dragon boating festivals.
Yeah.
It was happening in the same week with us. We thought, me as well. And I'm just stood in the queue to get to the beach to watch this dragon boating. And this really lovely young lady turns around and she goes, are you from Million Dollar Listing Dubai? And I was like, yes, I am. How do you know? She's like, oh my God, I've watched you. And I was like, all the way in Hong Kong? Crazy. Like, this is crazy. Yeah. So that was so cool. And we've kept in touch, and she's connected me with some great people in Hong Kong. So yeah, it really has paid off. So glad I did it. Had so many people telling me not to do it. And
why?
You know, I don't know, whether it's coming from a place of like, I don't know, jealousy or I wouldn't do that, or be careful. I mean, whatever you do, whether you're putting yourself out on Instagram, on podcast, you know, cancel culture is very real. So you're putting yourself up for vulnerability, whatever platform you're on. So whether it's a reality TV show, or whether it's Instagram, or you're going to have people being hateful and positive, you know, wherever you go. You can't win. And this is what I say to people is, you can't please everyone. So who cares?
Who cares?
You know,
and
like
it's an opportunity of a lifetime.
100%. And I'd be crazy to turn it down. And I remember at the time I had to decide whether I wanted to go and work at Sotheby's or be on the TV show, because I got offered a job at Sotheby's, and
they're quite exclusive, right? They don't offer it to you again.
No. And then he literally said, you can either work here at Sotheby's without the show, or you can go and do the show elsewhere. And I just had to make that decision. So I chose the show.
Oh, good.
And I'm glad I did it. It was definitely the right decision. And it was the first real reality TV show for real estate in Dubai.
Yeah.
And it's on a global platform. So really good decision.
I was so proud to see you on it. I was watching, I'm like, yes,
I know, because it came out when I was at my last company with you. It came out then, and that's when the premiere was. Yeah. And it was a big deal.
But also on a personal level, I think I was just so happy to see a brown girl killing it. Honest to God. I was just like, yeah.
No, honestly, I know it's such a weird thing to look back, but Yeah, it was a crazy moment. It was like even on the stage when I gave a speech that night at the premiere, it was like a real full circle moment.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, and it's a shame because a lot of people that probably should have been
there, yeah.
were not there.
I agree.
And it's crazy because they were like meant to be like my mentors, my leadership, you know, all of that, and they weren't there. But then I had like my previous managing director from a SPAS, he turned up, John Lyons, he came and supported, and it was really lovely because it's like he's seen me go from a real like rental broker to a sales broker to now she's on a TV show. So it's a lot of nice support.
Absolutely amazing. So what's something viewers don't see on the show that you think they should know about the real estate industry? The show specifically.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the show was filmed as authentically as possible. All the listings are real, all the sales are real, all the transactions are real. I mean, you can watch it yourself. There's 9 episodes and not one of those episodes I'm driving like a Rolls Royce or a whatever. I'm driving normal cars because that's what I had, you know? So everything is pretty much real in that sense. Obviously, you can't condense an entire year's worth of work in 9 episodes. There's a lot of behind the scenes that goes on as well in the sense of admin. I would say like the show really captured a lot of ups and downs, which was good because that's the reality of it. You know, one of the episodes, you see me literally waiting an hour and 30 minutes for a client who never showed up. And that legitimately happened. Like I literally got stood up, and that happens. You know, you get really excited and stage the property and get all ready, and you turn up 30 minutes early because you're a good broker, and then they're stand you up, and that's just what happens. So, but in terms of like things that maybe aren't sort of as clear on shows is to sort of get to a point where like I don't know, it's a hard one because they did show the hardships, to be fair. I mean, you literally watched me cry when I was FaceTiming my sister because I get homesick, and those challenges do happen. Perhaps maybe not as much as the admin because it's more of the boring side.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, other than that, it's pretty much
it's pretty realistic.
Yeah, from my side anyway.
Good.
Good.
Yeah. What's the biggest advice you'd give someone who's looking to invest in Dubai? Just one advice.
Good one. It's really choosing your broker well.
Yeah.
Do your homework on your broker.
Yes,
look your broker up. I've looked up brokers to hire when I was managing a team of 25 people, and I was saying no to people just based on what I stalked them on Instagram and how
that's why personal branding is important.
I've literally gotten close to I've literally not hired people based on how they present themselves on Instagram. If you're going around parading yourself, you know, dressed a certain way, presenting yourself a certain way, certain activities, then as an investor, would I trust you with one of the most expensive assets in my portfolio? Probably not. No. You know, and that's why presentation's everything.
It's everything.
Really is. And that's just not in real life.
And I also think that when you do have that personal brand and when you do present yourself as a broker, you can't be going about pissing on, you know, like getting drunk on the weekends and showcasing that. Like do it. Well, do whatever you want to do, but don't showcase that because no one's going to take you seriously. Right. If, like you said, if it's $1 million property, I want someone who looks and understands the worth of $1 million, 100%, right? 100%. So I think that's
if you're dressed skimpy or you're doing all of that on Instagram, then there's a high chance that
people are not going to take you seriously. I agree. I really like this question. What's one lesson or piece of advice you wish you could give your younger self?
You know, I always think back about my younger self, and I think I was so hard on her because I really hold myself to a high standard, and I think I put a lot of pressure on myself to be the best version of myself. And I've just been like that by nature from a young age, and I've always, you know, wanted more. And I think the only advice I would give her is continue being you. Continue doing exactly what you're doing, and it's going to work out. Yeah. Because a lot of people, it's like, I wish I told them not to do that. I wish I told them to avoid that. And it's like, you know what? If you did that, you wouldn't be where you are today.
I agree.
So it's like, stick at it. Trust the process. you've got this.
I agree.
I would just be encouraging.
I think mine would be to never underestimate yourself.
Yes.
Don't let anyone tell you that what you're doing is wrong, especially if it feels good to you.
Right.
The amount of people in my career and in my personal life who've come up to me and been like, no, this isn't good enough. You're not supposed to do this. You're not good enough because you've done this. And I've stuck at it, and I am where I am today because of that.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And so that's what I would say. But yeah,
I love
agree.
that. That's great. No, but it's true. You begin to doubt yourself when people doubt you, and you know what? You just gotta have more faith in yourself.
Exactly.
People struggle to see you thrive when you've come from the same place, but you're doing better.
Exactly.
That's one thing 100%. I've learned.
So, how have you faced sexism in the industry? Have you faced sexism in the industry? And if so, what and how? Or have people not taken you seriously because they might have thought you were too young, or because you're a girl, or whatever?
Short answer to the first question, yes.
Yeah.
Several times. It's actually outrageous. My first day, someone came up to me and asked me if I slept my way into the job. That was my first day. That was my first day in real estate. My very, very first day. And
Don't be shy, say his name. I'm just kidding.
And the first thing that was funny, because there was a female recruiter and a male recruiter.
Oh, okay.
And the ironic thing is that the female hired me, not the male. And this guy assumed that the male hired me, and she's confident. Because I walked in, I'm confident, I felt like I was educated, and I had a really positive outlook. I was like, I'm going to smash it. And I know I'm going to smash it, because if I put my mind to something, come rain or shine, like, I'm going to do well. Like, I will put my mind to it. I will succeed.
I cannot believe this person said that to you. That is raging.
That was day one. And I've had a lot of sexism throughout. I mean, like my last company, in my own team, someone literally said to me, like, oh, I don't respect her. I think I'm better than her. She's too emotional. This was in my own team when I was managing 25 people.
That's insane.
As a woman, you absolutely face this. And this is not just in real estate, it's in a lot of industries. And to be honest with you, before I would say real estate was a lot more male dominated. Now it's balancing out.
Exactly.
Some companies now you have even more females than male, which is great to see. But, you know, if I look at all my other companies, especially in the first few, there were no female leadership positions. I mean, I was looking at the management team, and there were no females in the management team. And I thought that was weird. It's like, I'm working for a company and I'm working for a business where they haven't even put in a single female in their management team. What does that tell me?
Yeah.
How encouraging is that to me as an aspiring leader one day? You know, is there room for me? Is it a boys' club? And I think a lot of listeners listening to this podcast will agree that at some point, even men and women have agreed that, yes, it felt like a boys' club. It feels like a boys' club where I am. So whether you're at the big companies, the mid-tier companies, there is that sort of degree, that sort of culture, whether it's a clique culture, whether it's a boys' club culture. But sexism is definitely something I've experienced time and time again. Even on the client side of things, my very first sale, I did my first sale in my first week in sales, and that's kind of unheard of that I did it on my first day. And wow. I remember getting to the contract signing. This particular client, the seller, had never met me. My profile picture at the time was of the Burj Khalifa. He's only dealt with me on WhatsApp and on phone calls, so he's heard my voice, but he's never met me. And when we meet for the first time, we're signing the contract, we've done the negotiations. He gets into the hotel lobby, he's on the phone to me saying, "Where are you? I can't see you." And I'm 2 meters from him, and I'm like, it's me. I'm the broker. And he looks at me and goes, "You? But you're a baby." And he's like, "Mashallah." And I'm like, but I'm an adult. I appreciate it. I know I look young. I'm not stupid. I know I look 12, but I'm the one that sold your property when no one else could. Yeah. Let's just remember that, right? Mm-hmm. So it's hard to sort of command respect, and I don't command it, I earn it. Yeah. And I always say that always stay humble, and, you know, with humility, respect follows. And I always say, like, even when people can be difficult, can be stubborn, it doesn't matter. Just be graceful and professional, and I think the rest follows. You have to, if I'm honest, as a woman, you do have to work a little bit harder, because it's not about culture. It's about just the way people, even when I go into meetings, and if I go with a male, they'll direct their entire attention to my colleague. Little do they know that colleague is my little like apprentice.
Yeah.
I'm actually teaching this guy. He's shadowing me. I'm training this guy. You know, he's coming around with me. But then we arrive at the meeting and they're like full attention on them, their body language, and it's, you know, and it's fine. But then they understand that I'm very serious and take my career very seriously. So I faced it. And will it stop? Probably not. I probably will encounter it at some point again. And it's fine because I'm at peace with that's how you want to treat me. That's fine. I'm not going to change who I am. So yeah.
Crazy. I mean, I've experienced it as well. But I think for me specifically, it was like, oh no, you're too emotional. You know, you women are too emotional. So you won't be able to make that strategic decision. And I was like, excuse me? Mm-hmm. Like, you are joking, you know? And I can't believe that people would not take me seriously because they think that my hormones dictate the way that I make business decisions.
Yeah, when I heard you're too emotional, at that point I was like, and then this was said in front of senior management to me. And I'm sat in the meeting room like, are we just gonna let that happen? Is that now acceptable? Yeah. Like it blew my mind. It really blew my mind. And you're right, it's totally unacceptable. It's totally against the grain. That's why I wanted to build my own company. You know, it's to really cultivate a much healthier environment. I want every single person to feel like they can come to me, and when I hear their concerns, they feel heard. Yeah. I don't want them to write in an email complaining and then ignore them, you know, and, you know, things like that. Yeah. You should take things seriously. Yeah. If someone doesn't feel safe or they don't feel happy, it's your job as a leader. I was told that I was it's like, maybe management isn't for you. You know what? Maybe leadership. Maybe you should just stick to being a broker. And here I am today. Company. And it's called, my name's on the door. Yeah. So, and I'm not stepping back, you know. You saying that has only propelled me to do what I'm doing today.
Someone had the audacity to say maybe management is not for you. Yeah. Especially when they're the one that put you in that position. Yeah. You know? Yeah. I'm sorry, you're on TV, you have your own company, you're selling left and right.
At the time, yeah. So I was filming a TV show. I was managing a team of 25 brokers and being a broker. And I was in the top 10 brokers of the company the day I left. I don't see that as a failure whatsoever.
Girl.
So yeah,
insane. It's insane what you've achieved. Yeah. So what advice are you going to give young women looking to make it in real estate or just start their own business?
So women in particular, I would say have full confidence in your own ability. That's first and foremost. Surround yourselves by positive people. Be it women or male, it doesn't matter, but positive people. You can't have anybody in your corner who is slightly resentful or slightly jealous. The moment that comes out, the moment your friend is not celebrating you in the way you would celebrate them, cut them off. Don't even have people linger because you're too afraid, oh, I'll let it fizz out. Just cut them off. Life is too short to be around people who don't want the best for you. I know that everyone in my circle, I am rooting for them always. I'm the biggest cheerleader for them. Yeah. So I want that back. And I don't think that's too much to ask for. And I think that you should be very selective on who the people you are surrounding yourself with. That's the first thing. The second thing is, especially for women, stay classy.
Yes.
This is a big message I want to send out for all women is stay classy. You don't have to be dressing like you're going to the club to be seen as a realtor. You can be classy and be taken very seriously and very professionally. If you rock up to a listing for 50 million dirhams and you're wearing a 50 dirham dress, which is up here, that's not okay. And I mean, be presentable, not just showing up for listing appointments, but all the time. How you present yourself really says a lot about you. Yeah. And a lot of people have commented saying, you know, it's really nice, like you so professional, and even, you know, certain clients. And I make it very, very clear that I'm here for business and nothing more. Nothing more. Don't get it twisted. I am not meeting you for dinner. I'm sorry. I'm here to talk real estate, because this is what I'm passionate about. This is what I can chew your ear off for 5 hours talking about real estate and about Dubai. Not just real estate. I'm genuinely like a natural ambassador for Dubai because this place has changed my life. Yeah. So I'm just here to inform and educate. And if I'm going out and I'm dressing a certain way and I'm dressing like I'm going to the club, how can I expect someone to look at me and take me seriously? You know, I need to feel like, okay, we're here for business. And I think some women as well, especially in real estate, it's like it's just sending the wrong message.
Yeah.
You got to dress as if you're going to meet the sheikh. That's how I say it to my staff. You got to dress every single day like you're going to meet the sheikh today.
I agree.
Prime example of two elegant, respectful, ladies who are very classy. And I think that's the direction women should hold themselves to. And let's just bring that back. I want to see more women in suits.
Yeah.
And in actual like professional dress. I mean, I worked at PwC for a summer in New York City, and it's like coming from a corporate world, coming from central London to coming to Dubai real estate, and I'm seeing people just dress like their wardrobe is just for the clubs.
Exactly.
Makes zero sense to me.
Differentiate those things. You need
100%.
to differentiate those things. On a personal note, I just want to tell everyone that Zay and I, we worked at the same company and we were like colleagues. Obviously, I was in marketing, so we talked on that aspect. But the reason we got close, and it's really funny, we actually got into an argument. We had a little argument.
We did.
And I remember me and her were sitting in a room, and we had our manager who was trying to cool us off, and both of us were like, we're very strong-minded women. Yeah. So we're like, no, and then we kind of, and then the next day it was like it never happened, and then we just kind of got super close after that.
You're right.
And I think I immediately realized the potential that you have, and I'm someone who genuinely wants to surround myself with powerful women, because if I surround myself with powerful women, I am a powerful woman.
Of course.
And you are one of the top tiers out there, 100%. In everything that you do, Zay, you are an inspiration to so many. So I just want to tell you that I'm super, super proud of you. Is there any last words you have to say?
That's so nice. I feel like so emotional. I was like, oh my God, like this is really, no, because like it really means a lot. Yeah. And sometimes, you have to pause and you wonder like, does anyone actually care what I'm doing? I'm doing all this like Instagram stuff.
Trust me.
And then it's words like that really boost you in terms of like, you know what, above all the negativity and all the jealousy and all the people that will say negative things about you, doesn't matter because it's so outweighed by the positives. Yeah. And I'm not joking, like a message every couple of weeks, and it'll be from a girl in Canada, and she'll be like, hey, I've just watched the show and I just want to say like, you are such an inspiration. You came across so well. You're super down to earth. You're very humble. And I'm following your journey. You've inspired me to get into real estate. I've got another girl who messaged me from London, just said, hey, just want to I read every single message. I read every single one, and it's so heartwarming. And I think you're right. It's really surrounding yourself by people that will lift you up.
Yeah.
So the final thing I'll probably say is just like something I sort of live by, which is really like, it's a quote that someone said, so I'm not going to take credit for it, but I keep reminding myself of it just to keep pushing myself forwards. And it's at the top of one mountain is the bottom of the next. So keep climbing. Keep climbing.
I love it. I love that. Absolutely love that.
So yeah.
Thank you so much, Zay, for coming on my podcast. Just to let you know, guys, Zay also has her own podcast, which I'll link down below. So definitely check it out. And I'll see you guys next time for another episode. Bye.
Bye.